My story began about a year and a half ago. My ex-H and I were married for 10 years. He is a good man, kind, caring, and our sex life was great. He's a nurse and always had plenty of time for me and the kid. I'm a VP at a small startup, so ex-H had the higher income. We live in California and nurses here make quite a bit. 6 figures. I make mid-5 figures. Anyways, my job requires me to travel 1 week a month, and my AP was a coworker who came with me on these trips. The affair started about 2 years ago and lasted for 6 months. I have no idea how ex-H found out. I can only guess he figured out my phone password, but can't prove anything as he denied knowing. After he initially found out, he hired a PI to follow me and the AP around. As soon as ex-H confronted me, I denied and denied. He didn't say anything, just started at me with cold eye. It was unnerving, and eventually I confessed the whole thing. He was very cold and calculated. He had me served at work in front of everyone. He also had consults with all the best family in our area, so I ended up hiring a second-rate lawyer. I lost almost everything in the divorce. The house we lived in was one we rented from his parents. He still lives there. In the house I decorated it and built since I travel for work, and he has the house. He has primary custody of the kids. I get them every other weekend and for 2 weekends in the summer. He pays very little in spousal support. It amounts to about $1,000 per month, so I had to move back in with my parents. The worst part is that I thought my AP would be there for me. He wasn't. As soon as everyone found out about us, he dropped me like I was nothing. I never felt so low in my life. He didn't give a shit about me. He wasn't mean or malicious about it, just said I think we should stop seeing each other, and that was it. I desperately tried good night back to my ex-H. As I said, our marriage was great. I was just born. I promised I'd go to counseling, quit my job. I'd do whatever it took. He said that he wasn't a backup plan and slammed the door to our house in my face. He moved on. He's dating someone else. She's not younger or prettier than I am, but she's devoted to him. I can see it in her eyes when she looks at, and he seems genuinely happy with her. The kids like her and she's good to them, so I can't really complain about that. And so lonely, a lot of my friends distanced themselves from me. I guess they don't want to be associated with a cheater. All I do is cry. I miss my kids. I miss my old life. Most of all, I miss my ex. How could I have been so stupid? Love hurts so much and so deep. I have been with my partner for 3 years, and we had an amazing relationship till my mom passed away, and I have no other family left out, so I went into depression. I kept going, but I was declining every day. My partner felt I was not being there for him. So he started cheating on me when I felt something was not right. He told me he was talking to the woman to talk about our issues as a friend. No relationship is ever perfect, but I thought ours was as close it could be. I love him unconditionally and committed for life. He changed so much since he started talking to that woman. He had so much anger for me. Start saying how I can't get over my mom and no one ever going to love me unconditionally as my mom. I was so mentally tired and broken that I committed suicide, but thank God I was saved on time. When I was at the hospital, he told me how much he loves me and he was being stupid, etc. I was thinking it was only emotional cheating, I believe, and tried to work on our relationship, but it didn't work much as we were still having so many arguments, and he was telling how it was all my fault for him to do that. I took the responsibility, but he still didn't stop fighting. He would fight on small things. And started to stay away from me for a few days a week, saying we are working on our relationship with distance. After months, I found out he had been cheating on me the whole time, even before my suicide. He was staying with her the times he said he is staying away to work on our relationship. It broke my heart into million pieces. Mind you, I was not just healed after coming back from the hospital. I was still hurt with my mom plus hurt from our relationship. I had many nights crying alone. But I thought it was a test for my love and I need to give him space. I didn't share my feelings with anyone. Kept to myself how deeply I was suffering. He says his cheating was not right, it was wrong. but then say he cheated as he was not in the right state of mind. Another day, he told me it was part of my and part of his mental health issues that he cheated on me. He says he wants to work on our relationship and do anything to earn my trust again, but then I found out she was still in his social media even after me asking over and over again if he has stopped all the contacts with her. Finding that out again, I felt the pain even deeper and felt so devastated how this is even possible for someone to do when he says he loves me and can't be without me. Doesn't matter how much I was suffering myself, but whenever he was down, I would just be there for him as that's what we do for our loved ones. He is the only one I have in my life. Last fine, pushed me into total darkness where I can't push myself to even leave the bed all day and cry all the time because pain feels so deep and sharp in my heart. Due to long depression, I have anxiety and panic disorders. I get nightmares of my partner and that woman. I never thought my relationship could go through something like this. It was so beautiful and perfect and full of love. He says he wants to take care of me because I am sick and at the lowest point, but then he also make comments how I sleep all the time, I am not doing anything and how come already not over his affair, etc. I didn't share anything what I was going through for months with anyone, but one day at my weakest moments when I found how she was still on his social media, and she was still sending him MSGs, which he had deleted all. I shared our personal issue with one of our friends. Well, that's what I thought that they were our friends. He found out recently that I had told them he was very upset and says how dare I shared that with them without his consent editor. And now he is holding me accountable that it is all my fault that I told them. He doesn't take any responsibility that this whole thing started with him having an affair and cheating on me on and on after promising me how he won't. I had been depressed for so long and has no mental power felt to hold everything in me when I tried to tell him how he is able to put his actions on mental health and take no responsibilities, but how he is not giving me benefit of the doubt that I was not in a good mental state when I decided to share that info. He gets upset that I can't just not take responsibility of my action. By using his cheating excuse, I feel like he has double standards. He doesn't like to feel or think that he has done anything wrong while he wants to take over the full control of things and situation by putting the blame on me that I told our friends. Sadly, in my bad luck, they were not my friends, but they pretended to be nice. I hate myself how I easily trust people and how I can't